Hello everyone, I'm going to do another segment of albums that influenced my musical life. Today I'm going to talk about Steely Dan and the album Aja. Came out around 77, 78, so I was about 11 or 12 years old. The way I got the album was I first heard it, my Aunt Christine had the album, and I would listen to it from her, and of course it had three top 40 AM hits, had Peg, Deacon Blues, and Josie, and I was able to get the album because if you guys are old enough to remember, there used to be a thing called Columbia Tapes and Record Club, where you'd buy you'd get 6 or 10 albums for a penny, and then in the agreement you'd agree to purchase a few more albums over the next couple of years at regular price. And that's how I got the Steely Dan album. The main draw for this album was it grew. I enjoyed it from the beginning, but it also grew over the years to where I still enjoy listening to it. And where it really played an important part in my life was because as I got older, like a freshman in high school and started playing guitar, I would look at, again, this is one of those albums where I would look at the credits and I would see all these musicians' names, like Steve Gadd on drums on Aja, Larry Carlton's on this album, Lee Ritenour, Dean Parks are playing guitar, Chuck Rainey, Jay Graydon does the famous solo on Peg, Jim Keltner, I think I said, was on drums, Joe Sample's on a couple tracks, Wayne Shorter from Weather Report and Miles Davis plays the solo on Aja. And so this was just another one of those albums that made me see the importance of studio musicians and great musicians, which then led me to, if I saw, say, Dean Parks on another album on a credit, it'd make me want to buy it just because I knew that he was good at something. And I'm like, I recognize him because he played such and such on the Steely Dan album. And so that's why this album influenced me so much. And part of the draw for Steely Dan for musicians is because they use more sophisticated harmonies, chord progressions, regular chords than most pop or rock music does. I've said this many times, most pop and rock music has to be simple for the general public's ears because we like to hear simple things, and so that's why you hear songs like, stuff like that, just very simple. Whatever it is, it's real simple stuff. But with Steely Dan, they would use more sophisticated chords. Not as sophisticated as, say, some real intense jazz players, but more sophisticated than regular pop music, and yet it still sounded like pop music. And they're real good at doing that, and Stevie Wonder is real good at doing that, putting more sophisticated chords on pop music. So, for example, I'll play a couple of songs. Black Cow, the first song. I'm going to start with the C9 chord. And then it would go into this A7 with a sharp 5. Actually, that's wrong. A7 sharp 5, C with a D in the bass, E7 sharp 9, B flat with the E flat in the bass, and then back to it. Aja had a C minor 11 in there. Deacon Blues had that great intro. E7 sharp 9, a lot of major 7th chords, and then the melody, G13, F13. The Peg had the descending line with the major 9th, and then a 7th with the sharp 9. And I'm doing that quicker than what it was, and then it's basically a blues progression, but they're using major 7ths instead of a regular 7th, dominant 7. Josie. Something like that. And then they would use this. Those type of things, then the chorus. And so that song is full of, I'll share a secret here, they use A with the D in the bass, G with the C, D with the G. They use those type of chords all throughout all their music. And when you're young, you're not used to alternating basses, bass as the head and all this stuff. And so you have a hard time figuring them out, but that's what they do. Instead of doing just a regular A chord to G, D, C, they do an A, and they put the fourth in the bass, the fourth of the scale. And see, that's the kind of stuff that they would do. Put the seventh, sharp 9, B7 with the sharp 5. So that's part of the appeal of Steely Dan. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening. Again, if you've never heard the Steely Dan album or listened to all the different tracks on there, I highly recommend it. It's good listening, nice music to listen to, great musicians playing on it. Thanks, and hope you watch next time.